Hello everyone! For those who've caught me on live streams or on Discord, they frequently see me talking about this. However, to the people who just watch YouTube videos, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. And I would have brought this up much sooner if it had not been for an illness that caused me to shelve about 4 of the videos I was planning on working on, all the way back to E3 basically. But now that I'm all better, and I realize I'm going on a business trip in like 2 days, I figure now is just the right time to talk about this. Before, I leave on said business trip. I should have another video out while I'm gone, but that's because someone else is handling the video processing and uploading. It's going to be the same quality as this, don't worry. Nothing special. But what am I going on about? Well, some former Bethesda employees who made the Elder Scrolls in the first place. There's a company right now, an indie startup called Once Lost Games. Just type in Once Lost Games and add a .com at the end and you have their website. Now everything I say here is subject to change because they're just getting started. And I figured people should know about it. Their current team, as of the time of making this video, is as follows. The technical director, Julian Lefay, also known in the Elder Scrolls as the god Julianos, is sometimes called the father of the Elder Scrolls, with his former work on Elder Scrolls I: The Arena, Elder Scrolls II: Daggerfall, and Elder Scrolls Legend: Battlespire. The executive producer, Vijay Lakshman, probably butchering that. Either way, he was the lead designer of Elder Scrolls I: The Arena and a minor contributor to Elder Scrolls II: Daggerfall, who left and then went to work on various other titles. Next up, the design director, Ted Peterson, also known as the original Sheol-Goroth. He used to post on the old Bethesda forums all the time back before Todd Howard made his character into a joke. He was on the design and writing team for Elder Scrolls 1, 2, 3, and 4, with his final Elder Scrolls game with Bethesda being Oblivion. And finally, the marketing director, Ian Indigo Gaming himself. The guy I did a couple live streams with. Got a YouTube video with him on it. He made a really good documentary titled The Elder Scrolls: A Promise Unfulfilled, as well as various other documentary and interview series. He's interviewed Ted Peterson, and he's interviewed Julian Lefay. Through the contacts he's created getting these people interviewed, he's more or less laid the groundwork for this. Now, there's a financing guy behind the scenes. However, I'm told this is the studio right now. This indie company got together to create, as the video title of this video says, a spiritual successor to the Elder Scrolls II: Daggerfall. When we look at spiritual successors, we ask ourselves, how close is it going to be? And I've had a couple discussions with the people working on it, and while I've agreed not to discuss the details because they are heavily subject to change during the design process, and we don't want to set unrealistic expectations, hello No Man's Sky, I am personally excited for what was discussed. Now, what has officially been announced on their Discord server about the project is that they are aiming to create a huge dynamic world to explore, with rich lore to be discovered through NPCs and in-game books. It's going to have non-linear and branching endless quests, which will evolve with the world, like a great virtual dungeon master running a pen and paper campaign. For those of you who don't know, this was the original goal of Elder Scrolls 2. It sounds like they're taking another crack at it. And finally, robust character creation and character advancement. And I've said this before, but I recommend anyone wondering what that virtual game master line was about, check out Indigo Gaming's interview with Julian Lefay. In fact, I will have a few of Indigo Gaming's videos linked below in a pinned comment. But to sum it up, at least in my personal interpretation, remember, subject to change, Elder Scrolls II: Daggerfall was an attempt to take the tabletop homebrew setting of Tamriel, created in Elder Scrolls I: The Arena, and turn it into a fantasy life simulator, with the game systems acting as a kind of GM, allowing you to go anywhere and do anything your character wants to do. In theory, It's possible if the algorithm powering it is complex enough. Obviously, Daggerfall's algorithm was relatively simple on the surface, but below the surface, there were hundreds upon hundreds of factions, each with their own shifting reputations of one another. If you went through the save file editor of Daggerfall, you'd discover that the Knights of the Dragon might hate the nobles of Tulun. The Dark Brotherhood may be on good terms with the Mages Guild. Every faction had some kind of reputation, even if it was at zero neutral, of one another. Everyone had an opinion about everyone, and those factions would shift based on in-game events that occurred off-screen that some NPC would tell you about. And that would entirely change up the political framework. On the surface level, most players would never notice what was going on, when in fact, in Elder Scrolls 2, there's a series of functions going on unseen to the player in the quest level of the game, changing those faction scores as you play. Now, when I saw that interview with Julian Lefay, what I think he was trying to get at was, imagine if you took the idea of Daggerfall's underlying principles, of that virtual game master, and applied what we now know about game design, kicked that series of algorithms up a notch, and gave that virtual game master a more overt control of what's going on in the world. Something that could be more noticeable. Something that they were trying to do in Elder Scrolls 2, but may very well succeed to a greater level this time. That's what I think they're aiming for with this new game, is to create a game like Daggerfall that surpasses Daggerfall. If an Elder Scrolls 2 Spiritual Successor is something you'd be interested in learning more about, or better yet, something you'd be considering contributing ideas to, either general ideas or lore or artwork, the developers are listening. They've set up a Discord server called the Council of Wisdom, where they're taking your ideas and feedback from the community. I'll make sure to have that Discord invite be the top link so you can join it and get talking about this. I can't tell you it'll be great, but I can tell you it has great potential, and I'm excited about it. Again, everything I just said right now is speculation based on Indigo Gaming's interviews. What I actually know about the product, I can't tell you right now, but I'm excited. As a general critic of games, I can't tell you that it'll be great, but I can tell you that as a fan of Daggerfall, and as a fan of role-playing games in general, this has great potential and is worth looking at. The team is looking for contributions, so check out their Discord server, check out their website, check out their social media on their website. I've got something else Elder Scrolls 2 related to talk about, but that can wait for another video. I will see you all next time.